Good day, strategy gamers. Welcome to Next War Con 6. We are here with a combined game turn 1 recap for Next War Korea. Going to hand it over to designer Mitchell Land to talk about his side as the allies.
All right, so what you're looking at obviously is the DMZ. He's gotten across a couple of places, as you can see. Not too deep of a penetration for game turn 1, but it's a very thin line with a very thin secondary line. If you look here, we've got losses from turn 1 for the DPRK. Over here, a few more losses for the allies. And really, that's about it for turn 1. Rich chose to have a storm for turn 1, and I'll let him talk about his reasons for that and how that worked out.
Yeah, basically going into this, you can see a lot of North Korean aircraft, but if you look at the numbers on those, they're not very impressive and they're going to get shot down once we get into full air-to-air warfare. So my intention was to keep everybody on the ground, and honestly, that worked out pretty well. The air was basically limited in the first turn. I did use some Scuds to attack his air bases, which was able to do a little bit of damage. Depending on how weather goes next turn, it could really turn around from here, though.
Good day, strategy gamers. Here is a turn 1 recap for India-Pakistan at Next War Con 6. I'm Kevin, playing as the Islamic Republic of Pakistan side, non-allied in green here. And really the status so far is, as you can see to the right of the screen, trying to go a little around and into the open to get some of those victory points with the cities there. A lot of concentration around Lahore and really those urban centers in the middle of the map. And then to the left, I'm having a little bit of success breaking through across the border there where you see those KTX markers. Those are all fortifications now that have been cleared, and trying to press into that valley with that river there. I'm going to hand it over to Bill, who's my opponent playing as India now, for him to give a little update on what he's been doing.
Yeah, I've been suffering. Kevin was able to detect and then relentlessly bomb a supply depot here on the map that has now put most of the counters and soon all of them in the Kashmir Highlands out of supply. So that's going to be a challenge there. Not that there's going to be too much happening. It's mostly down here trying to plug the gaps. It's going to be a challenge for India to recover from turn 1.
All right. Thanks so much, Bill, and we'll be back with more.
All right, this is the Next War Iran theater. Iran against the U.S. and Commonwealth. The U.S. player has taken on the Commonwealth and the French and has gained several allies in the theater. Our first round was fairly exciting. We dropped a lot of missiles on each other. Bombers came through. A lot of SSM naval sites were detected. One was damaged. The one unexpected event was the Allied player attacked my refineries, was very successful at multiple sites, and deprived me of, 6 points so far, but those are points I lose for the rest of the game. So in terms of the air war, we're fairly neck and neck. The Iranian player hit his air bases and two of his allies hard and deprived him of quite a bit of air for this turn. And we're going into a storm, which will be to the benefit of the Iranians. So far, we're neck and neck.
Thanks, Chris. We'll see you. So this is a turn 3 recap for India-Pakistan at Next War Con 6. And what we have here is on the right-hand side, the west side of the map, we have a number of units trying to encircle this town, but they are out of supply. But the defenders are now isolated, which will be interesting for the beginning of turn 5. And when we zoom in a little bit to look at this part of the map, there's a lot of open space. The Republic of India troops are coming in as reinforcements at the beginning of next turn on the bottom of the map. And then we also see that the Pakistan Army has a division, the 31st, or a corps, coming in that will be moving south to reinforce. Continue to see heavy fighting in and around Lahore. Thankfully, we have been able to defend Lahore so far, but we took some heavy losses trying to break into their lines back here. When we look a little bit more into the difficult terrain, it's been a stalemate, but we have managed from a Pakistan perspective to hinder their supply route coming up this secondary road. But we have not actually progressed and taken any of these cities. What's interesting is when you look north of the 33 hex line, these are all worth twice as many victory points. And on the other half of the map, everyone's out of supply. However, the Indian army has advanced towards Islamabad, which has now triggered nuclear weapons release options for the Pakistan military. So we will see if that leads to any events in the coming turns.
All right, this is a recap of end of 3 turns in the Korea game, and this turn did not go well for the North Koreans. The weather finally broke, and the Allied air showed its full force. So it was a very difficult turn. If you look at the air display, you can see that North Korea actually has lots and lots of planes, but they're very poor quality compared to the Allied planes. So there's not a whole lot they can do to defend themselves in the air. And the Allies are using their planes effectively to do interdiction and bombings and all the other fun things that they can do. The actual front line is a little bit of a stalemate. There's been a little bit of motion back and forth, but definitely not any big penetration by the North Koreans. And the South Koreans are running a little low on troops, but they're still holding their ground.
So unlike everyone else, at the end of day 1, we are about 2/3 of the way through turn 1. Poland is very involved, and so we've had a lot of discussion and a lot of action on the strategic map, as you can see, as well as on the operational map. Things have moved slower than expected, obviously, much to the delight of everyone else here, who's certainly made us aware of how slow we've moved today. But it's been a difficult slog, a lot going on both maps. You can see all the air units that are involved. You can see that the Russians are beginning to move across the strategic map and trying to take Estonia. And then over on the operational map, as I think is typical for Poland, for this game, the Russians and the Belarusians have moved, started to move in, probably a little slower than people may expect for those that have played this game, but there's been a lot of missile strikes and a lot of back and forth strikes going all over the place. So tomorrow we hope to pick it up with the second strike phase and then basic movement. Hopefully some of these urban areas will fall for the Russians, as they'll be able to move through Bialystok and Vilnius, which is in the picture now, and start to take some of the urban areas. And hopefully we'll pick up some speed tomorrow and try and we'll never catch up to everybody else, but given that it's a combined game, it's important that we try and stay somewhat in sync since we're sharing resources. And I think that's it.